What's going on, YouTube gang? Today we'll be going over Evil West and the controversial title developed by Flying Wild Hog and why Evil West is what gaming is missing. Let's get active. Alright gang, so before we really get into it, I just want to put out there, like, this is just my opinion. This is not going to be very organized either. I'm just really going to be telling, my thoughts and my impressions of the game and how I think it impacts the game industry. Some people might think differently, some people might agree. Honestly, I don't really care. I'm here to just spit my version of it. If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. Don't get butthurt.
I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
But just to get into it, let's just talk about the current state of the gaming industry, what the climate is. There's a couple things you could expect these days. For the most part, most games are trying to be very RPG-ish, if you get what I'm saying. Like, a lot of games try to have that RPG element to it. Whether it's adding extra content, extra side missions, extra quests, like, you're basically just getting extra out the ass, bro. Like, but the thing with that is extra is not always good, more is not always good. For the most part, a lot of the content and quests that are added are very dull and uninspired.
What is that?
And that creates an issue right there, right? Because, you're adding all these elements that we really have to grind through, and the shit is whack. Like, I'm not even enjoying myself doing it. I'm not even having fun doing it because it's just so much work. I'm talking to you, Assassin's Creed. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, let's really just be honest. Like, how many times have we quested a map chasing after 1 billion quest markers just to collect an irrelevant item that has no story or importance or payoff? Like, sure, you may get a cool outfit, right? You might get some drip, right? You might get something that's, it look type elite, right? You get that rare item, but was it fun to do? Like, was the process of getting it even fun? And once you wear it and you've been playing in the game with it for a while, it's kind of like, damn, was all those hours really worth it? Was all that grinding really worth it? And the developers, they pretty much try to chase after what the people, like, what they claim to want, and try to create a game that will have all those features, which makes it just too many features. Like, you damn near listening to a DJ Khaled album, bro. Like,
another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, and another one.
But maybe that's the problem. Like, maybe they try too hard to give so much that they set the bar too high, and that creates a disappointment. And just from recent situations, we know, like, setting that bar too high and setting those expectations higher, it could create a problem. It could cause an issue between developers and the people who play the game, because we're expecting so much that they showed in previews or that they said would be included in the game, and oftentimes it's either missing completely or it's just not what they said it was, and that sucks. And you can't try to please everybody, and trying to do so would just lead to failure. Like, you're setting yourself up to fail if you're trying to please every single person. These games can strive for the most in-depth character creations the world has ever seen yet, or the biggest explorable map ever made, or the most complex attribute and progression system ever developed, or the most realistic dialogue choices and relationship building between the characters and NPCs.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that without proper code authorization.
6 for Tyrann from 3.
That is not the correct code.
Or the most challenging gameplay with damn near suicide-provoking enemy types that feel like they can't logically be beaten unless you study them. And that all sounds great, right? That sounds good. But there's one major thing that matters to me as a gamer, and that is, did I enjoy it? Did I have fun? Because if I'm not playing a game for enjoyment, then why the fuck am I playing? Like, why am I picking the sticks up, bro? Why am I playing that game? If I'm really not enjoying it and I'm really not having fun, I feel like I'm constant grinding, what am I doing? And in today's world, it feels like it's a requirement kind of to have all the extra elements and industry changing features, or else it'll be called mediocre or outdated. All the YouTubers will follow each other and rush to drop their video bashing a game that isn't what they expect it to be, or is not on the level of the highest tier games out. And what do these games get labeled? They get called mid or unplayable. They create a narrative that the game is bad, and the consumers who follow these YouTubers and these influencers blindly just judge without ever even playing the game. They never even pick up the sticks to know if they actually enjoy the game based off people's opinions. That's the current vibe for the newly released Evil West. There's a lot of people bashing the game and calling it out for all the faults and what's missing from the game. There's some good reviews out there. It's kind of a mixed bag, but for the most part, I've only seen negative. And there's some people who are enjoying it, but it seems like those are often overshadowed by the hate train of YouTubers who love to say games are not good for clicks. Dick riding, I swear. And in no way am I saying Evil West is a masterpiece or an industry-changing game that will forever be known for its innovation and endless playability. I would actually say the opposite. The game is not very innovative. The game is not representative of what the future of gaming is, like other games try to claim. It's actually a nostalgic reminder of the past in a way. The game is not a complex ball of excessive features and bloat that are meant to trick you into thinking you're buying the best game ever made. It's actually a simplistic game that lacks excessive amounts of features and choices and relies on the core elements that make a game playable. Evil West is not a lot of things, and that's okay, because what it is a good, enjoyable experience. To break it down to one word, it's fun. And in today's world, it's hard to say that for most games. And that really makes Evil West stand out. It's a game that offers you enjoyment through fun, engaging combat with versatile yet simplistic mechanics, and it has some pretty good, violent, bloody kills. If I had to like compare it with any other game, I would say like the combat is kind of like a mix of, it definitely has a lot of God of War in it, mixed with some Doom when it comes to the violence and the monstrosities that you're fighting. And then it also has like that Western vibe to it, with the gunplay and whatnot. And the game is not insanely difficult to the point where you have to study to play the style or get through the game or progress. In my opinion, it's just right in that aspect. It's straight to the point characters who are entertaining, and that's it. There's no super in-depth backstory that you're forced to play through and fully understand the narrative of the game or anything like that. Doing 100 side missions just to get to the point that your character relates to another character and prove that point is just fucking stupid to me. It's a story that's linear and focused on the story of the main protagonist, and that's it. It's very straightforward. It's not a story meant to mind fuck you or make you feel emotional or question the morality of the world and what should be accepted and not accepted like all these other fucking games try to add. The game is also pretty short, being about 10 hours, which I enjoyed as a person who actually has a life and can't always be on the game. I find it so enjoyable to play a game that doesn't take mad months to beat. I find this game very reminiscent of the 360 era, where games were not super complex yet and just like a fun time to run through. As a kid who grew up during that time, I think I'm able to find nostalgia and comfort in a straightforward game like Evil West, but it's probably not for everyone. Specifically people who are used to the new game archetypes and are used to a fuck ton of features and bloat, like you probably won't like it. If you like a game that's straightforward and just a fun to play game, you'll probably gravitate to the game. So with all that said, why is Evil West what the gaming industry needs? I would say it's really needed just because there's not many games out there where you could just shut your brain off and just play anymore. Everything is, stacked with features. Everything is trying to be an RPG. Everything is a grind, and it's very rare now where you see a game where it's just enjoyable. You just sit down, you play it, and you enjoy the game for what it is. There's no deeper meaning to it. It's not super complex. It's not trying to be the next big thing. It's just a solid, good game that you enjoy playing. And that's why I say it's very reminiscent of the 360 era, because that's what games were during that time. They weren't super complex yet. Graphics were getting better. Mechanics were also improving, but you weren't seeing none of the stuff you see these days. Every game wasn't an RPG, basically. There's diversity in the types of games that you could play. More games were kind of narrow in story and gameplay, and this is very much that type of game. And there's a lot of great games that still come out today. Specifically, like the last few months, there's been a lot of great games dropping. I've been enjoying being a gamer lately, but I really hope we still have games like this that come out ever so often, where I could just sit down and just let my mind go crazy into the game, not really overthinking anything, not making many decisions in the game. I just play it for what it is, and I just have a good time. Just drop a comment if you enjoy these type of videos. Also drop your opinion and what you guys think of the gaming industry, also the game Evil West, your opinions on it. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video, just so you can get more content like this and we can get into more topics. But thank you for watching. I'm Bizwar, and I'm out.